Hi, my name is Jessica Ellis and welcome to my channel, My Purpose Diaries. Today in episode 5, I'm switching it up a little bit and talking about my God girl boss struggle. That's right, I struggle, guys. And actually, there are 6 struggles that I've identified in my life, but today I'm here to talk about my struggle with spending time with God, having real, intentional, and focused time with Him without any distractions, aka slaying without praying. Basically, 2 months ago, I started this journey of stepping out on faith, of launching my Christian lifestyle magazine, thegracegeneration.com. And I was super excited about it. And I made a commitment to the Lord that when I started this journey, I was going to put in 2 hours of really intense, quality time with Him because I wanted Him to bless my ministry and bless me with people who would receive my ministry. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to come up with that. And before I proceed with talking about my hope of spending time with the Lord, I want to just kind of rewind a bit and talk about how my worship life was Him before. One example of my worship time and what it looked like was back when I was preparing for law school and I was waiting for those applications to come in with an acceptance. I prayed to God, I worshiped God, and I loved praying out to Him because I knew if I was faithful in praying to Him and worshiping Him, then He would be faithful and give me the desires of my heart. And the desires at the time was to get into law school. I also had a really, really close relationship with the Lord, and I genuinely loved spending time with Him. And so I never had a problem with that. Also in law school, part of the reason why I had no problem with spending time with God was because I wanted any reason to just get away from my book. So in the morning, I was spending time with the Lord. And at night, I didn't mind putting my books to the side to spend time with Him at 10 p.m. And that's right, at 10 p.m., I was done with law school. I studied and prayed and sung along to worship music. But fast forward to 2 months ago, I was back. I made that commitment, spend time with God, but unfortunately, I was so excited about just working for God, wanted to get straight to work. I was super excited in the morning and I couldn't think about anything else. And even when I was praying, like I would just be thinking of all the list of things that I wanted to get done that day, or I'd be reading my Bible and my head wouldn't be in it. In my quiet time with the Lord, I would be, every minute I'd be checking my phone. You know, I'd get a notification, I'm checking my phone. I would hear a ding, and I'm checking my phone. And every minute in prayer, I feel ashamed to admit that, but even in prayer, when I'm praying to a holy God that I should revere, because I'm in His presence, I would be praying to God saying, "Dear Jesus," and if I heard a ding, I would wake up from my prayer and go and check the message. And so I would get straight to work, you know, after like maybe 5 minutes of just a fast food study, and I would just work. And I would work like this till about 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, sometimes even later. And I would be so exhausted. Sometimes I wouldn't even be able to get a prayer in, and I would fall asleep. And I just kept doing this and doing this. And, you know, a part of the reason why I also was struggling with spending time with the Lord is because I felt like if I was just spending too much time resting and not enough time grinding, you know, I just felt like I was being unproductive. And kind of where I got that from is I like to watch a lot of E.T., the hip hop preacher's motivational videos, and he would always be about, you gotta grind, you gotta wake up and grind. You can't be sleeping in, and you can't be going to bed early. You know, you need to stay up here, and you need to get up early. And so I'd be all about that. And there's nothing wrong with his videos. Honestly, if you need somebody to push you to be productive in the day when you don't want to work, he's the perfect person to listen to. Except one of the things that I forgot is I was blessed actually to have him come to one of the youth federations that my church holds every year, and he came to it and he told us that every morning at 3 a.m. he spends 2 hours in worship with God before he starts grinding. And I forgot about that. I wasn't doing my part then. And so what I've realized is that resting in God, resting in His presence is being productive. You are grinding when you are worshiping God, because guess what? When you're reading His word, He's giving you inspiration. When you're reading His word, He's giving you ideas and content for your blog or for your business. But if you're not spending that time with God, then you're missing out on what God could bless you with to help you with your day's assignments. And I've also realized too that I really need to kind of like rethink what it means to be a God girl boss for God. The world says that leaders are their own boss, they make their own hours, they make their own this, but as a God girl boss or a God guy boss, whoever you are, you have to realize that you're not in business for yourself, and you don't run the show. God runs the show. He's supposed to call the shots, because if He's not calling the shots, then who are you working for? What is your ministry then? And so those are the things that I've realized, and I hope that you guys take away from this. So the same way that we treat our business relationships and our employers when they call for a board meeting, that's the same way that we need to be treating God when we're in a board meeting with Him in the morning and at night. And I'll say this, that some of you might be asking, like, dang, you were never reading the Bible? No, I was, because I had to, for those pep talks, to look up verses and to look up things. And actually, I did have devotion in the mornings, but every time I would have devotions, I would be thinking, okay, I would be looking at the verse to see if it would fit in for a pep talk. Everything I was looking into it to see if it would fit in with my magazine. And so I was still working and not spending time with God in that moment for myself and for my spiritual growth. And if I'm not growing in the Lord, then my ministry will suffer. What I'm doing now in order to overcome my struggle with spending time with God, which has been working so far, is I recently purchased a book called Fervent Prayer by Priscilla, Shirer. She teaches me how to pray with purpose and precision, being specific about my prayers. And because I have to, and these are one of the requirements of the books, I have to write down my prayers. Because I'm writing it down, I'm required to think about what I'm writing about. So it's extremely hard for me to be distracted and to be thinking about something else when I'm writing. So today I am going to the store to pick up a notebook, and it's going to become my prayer book. Honestly, in my prayer life, it's been complete crap, to be blunt and honest with you guys. I'm not specific in my prayers. It's very fast food. It's very like washy-washy. Sometimes I can't even make sense of what I prayed about, because I'm so used to saying the same prayer over and over again that it just comes as mindless talk. And I'm sorry, but it's like I'm not speaking reverently to my Father and asking Him and really using the power of prayer like I should, and really taking charge. He gives me this gift of prayer, this opportunity. I don't have to go through a priest to talk to my Father. I could just communicate to Him, be specific, and watch Him work a miracle in my life or in somebody else's life. Is that as Christians we're employed to do that. So I'm actually quite lucky. I found these notebooks, these really cute notebooks that says walk by faith, and there's another one that says fear not, for I am with you. And then I found over on the other side, find joy in the ordinary, and I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And I don't know, I was gonna go with the walk by faith, but the I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me has more pages, it seems. So I think I'm gonna go with this. And it's cuter too. I love the color. And because I'm writing, it helps me also to be very specific about what I'm asking God for. She also has this outline as to how you should pray. She says, first, praise God, ask for repentance, then you ask him what you want, and then you write down his promises. So I started that, and here's the book. So I actually bought the book that I said that I would buy, and I spent pages upon pages. I was actually surprised just how much I wrote. I mean, just a lot of things, just back to back to back of things. And honestly, it's been such a blessing. It has helped me so much in my overcoming the distractions that I've been getting. Now as well, I turn off my phone. This isn't my real phone. My phone is actually filming, but I turn off my phone now when I'm having worship with the Lord. I also thank God that I'm going through this struggle. He's giving me a way to just speak out about issues that probably somebody else like yourself might be going through that nobody maybe hasn't talked about yet or hasn't addressed. I surely didn't have anybody to warn me or to tell me, oh, Jess, in your first 2 months, like, beware, like, this might happen. You might experience this withdrawal from God where you're not spending time with him. You wouldn't have been able to tell me last year that I wouldn't be worshiping God less than what I was doing before, because I don't work or do anything else but what he's called me to do. So anyway, that's my story, and I hope you guys were blessed by my confession and my testimony. I'm going to keep writing. I'm going to keep reading fervent prayer. And also, our ability to be blessed by God isn't contingent on how long we pray and sit at Jesus' feet. Some people have time to spend 4 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour. Some only have time to spend 10 minutes. Whatever you have time to do, just make it intentional. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of My Purpose Diaries. And if you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and also comment below to tell me what are you struggling with, and what are some things that maybe I could cover in the next video. Also, if you have a favorite worship song, please comment that down below as well, because for my magazine I want to provide a top 10 list of worship songs for the summer. So please write down your favorite worship song, and please make sure it's like top, like this is a song that gets me in the spirit, like on fire, like I'm blazing. Put that song down below, and I'm anxious to see it, and I can't wait to just hear from you guys. Thank you guys so much, and have an awesome day. Bye.